Hi, Del. Hello, Uncle B here again. Thank you for taking an interest in these videos. Last time we talked about segmenting and breaking down your goal or task or challenge into smaller chunks. Another way to build mental toughness and resilience and to accomplish seemingly impossible things is through arousal control. If you're faced with a challenge and you're nervous or you start to worry, your emotions start getting higher because you're in a stressful environment, stressful situation, your heartbeat starts to rise, you start breathing more. You have to learn to get control of those emotions. One way to get control of those emotions is by getting control of your heart rate and your breathing. And you do that by what's called box breathing. And basically it's just a 4-second breathe in and 4-second breathe out. Now I've seen it a different way, which is 4-second breathe in, hold for 4 count, exhale for 4 count, hold for 4 count. Either way the idea is the same, and that is to control your heart rate and bring that heart rate down so that you can slow things down and think it through and get control of yourself and your emotions. And it looks like this. Breathe in, 4 count. Hold, 4 count. Exhale, 4 count. Hold, 4 count. And that's it. Okay? Another thing is to get control of your emotions. Make sure you know, and we'll talk about self-talk later. But talk to yourself and say, hey, emotions aren't necessarily reality. How you feel isn't necessarily how things are. And so you learn to suppress those emotions enough so that you can think through the situation, you can evaluate things, and you can deal with that stressor or that adversity that you're facing in a more logical or judicious way so that you can overcome that and it won't overcome you. Another way to build mental toughness and resilience is through visualization and, closely related to it, contingency planning. Visualization is you're actually visualizing yourself performing the task at hand to accomplish it. And visualization is very advantageous for when you're learning new things, you're learning new skills or training your mind or body. And it's also important to visualize so that you can gain confidence that, hey, I thought about it. If I can think about it, I can do it. And I just self-talked there. You see that? How I did that? But visualization is like you watching a movie of yourself doing what it is that you're going to have to do. It improves the success of your task or challenge that you're facing. In, I would say, modern parlance, you would say it's virtual training versus actual training, so that when the time comes to actually perform the task, you can actually do it with a better success rate. When I was learning hand-to-hand, the Navy SEAL hand-to-hand, I would learn lessons and work out with my partner, but I would also visualize myself doing it on my off time. If I was sitting, for example, in a car or like on a break or something, I would visualize in my mind not only doing the moves, but also mixing up the moves and thinking of scenarios in which I would do the moves. So I would have in my mind almost a state of how it actually felt. Maybe not physically, but emotionally and positionally as far as my body goes, and what it would look like and what it would do. And that was key to actually grasping hold of it. What we do is we actually visualize us doing a certain task. Sometimes I sit in church, or if I go to the mall or the airport, and I think of possible scenarios, what would happen, for example, if there was an active shooter that event that took place, or there was some kind of suspicious package, or there was a robbery, or someone stole someone's purse, what would I do? How would I react? And I visualize these things. How would I take out an attacker if I had the opportunity to? I hope that never happens, but needless to say, it does happen sometimes, and warriors like us need to be ready for it if it does, to help protect our fellow man in society. So I visualize what I'm going to do, or the scenarios play through my mind, and that helps me so that if the time comes, that I will be prepared for it. Another issue would be driving and the contingencies of if a certain car moves a certain way and you have to avoid a person or avoid a vehicle to avoid an accident or collision. This is something that you would also do. If this happens, then I go this way or do this. And you just kind of pre-war game it, is what it's also called. You visualize it and war game it, and you have contingencies for if things happen. With regard to active shooters, I also wrote a nice little paper on it, and it's full of information and mindset and what to prepare yourself for mentally, physically, spiritually even, in the event you find yourself in an active shooter event. It's available on Amazon, so don't forget to like or subscribe, and stay tuned for more.